Hello again and welcome to my vlog. As you can see, I'm doing a number of them at the same time. So yeah, I'm still in the same clothes, but there we go. That's the power of magic. So the next bit I'm just going to talk about is sort of going on to the group interview stage. So this is a group interview held by Yummy Jobs, who essentially pre-screen you for Disney to see if you A, meet the standard, and B, if you're the sort of person they want to put forward to the final interviews with Disney international staff. So to get to the group interview, you have to have obviously done your application and been passed off and had a nice congratulations email from Yummy Jobs, and you'll be given a time and location for your group interview. So ours was held at Stansted Airport in a hotel just next to Stansted Airport, and actually it was a really good interview. But just before we get to the interview, have a look on Facebook if you are sort of have any ideas or if you're nervous or worried, because there will be a Facebook group out there for the applicants that year. And before we actually went to the group interview, I actually knew quite a few people just from talking to people on the group. So have a look on Facebook and get chatting with people that are going to be there, because they'll be having the exact same questions and thoughts as you, and you can all chat and share. And I've already made some really good friends just through the application process, so definitely have a look at the groups. Once again, thank you, Rebecca, for making this group this year as well. Rebecca was an applicant with me last year when there was a very small group that went through. And she's kept the Facebook groups going, which is, thank you, Rebecca. Hello, Rebecca. And yeah, so this year we all met up the day before the interview process. Well, not all of us. Quite a few of us met up the day before inside the hotel. Some of us were staying at the hotel, some of us were staying nearby, but it was just good to have a chat with people who are just as nervous, confused, excited as you are. And we met at the bar of the hotel, which is always good, especially for those that are over 18. You have to be over 18 for the programme, so in England a good drink doesn't necessarily go amiss. But, a number of us met the day before, and it was just good to talk to people and make lots of new friends. Yeah, so I met a few people from the Facebook group that evening, so we all arrived at different times, and then just got to know each other a bit and have a chat about sort of how the interview process we thought we were going to go. And luckily for us, there were a number of people that had done the CRP programme before, or had done a CEP programme, so the College Exchange programme, which is a summer 3-month programme, 4-month programme. And so they got to share a bit of their experiences about how their programmes went and the actual interview and application process from their point of view from before. So luckily, my interview was in the afternoon the next day. And as we were waiting for our interview about 2:15, we could see the morning group coming out, looking absolutely nervous but happy. Some of them had already been interviewed, some of them were still waiting for interviews. So when we went into our interview time slots, mine was at 2:15, so we arrived about 2 o'clock. We were signed in and we were given a little name badge with our group that we'd interview with. So I was Queen of Hearts, whoop whoop, Queen of Hearts, and my interviewer was Katie. So the first thing you do, you put your sticker on and you get your Yummy Jobs introduction. So they introduce you to the rest of the process, and they also give you a presentation, which can only be described as a presentation which gets you excited for a job that you don't even have yet. They explained everything from roles to pay, accommodation, how the whole system worked with Disney and Yummy Jobs, and actually it was really refreshing that the staff are as excited as we were. And they do this all the time, they recruit for Disney all the time, but they still manage to keep that enthusiasm going, so it was great to see. And also, most of the staff have done the programmes before, they've been there, they know what the applicants are feeling, how the application process is working, so you know they're very on your side to help out and keep you enthused. So in the group interview, all I can say is really do not worry, it is one of the nicest but nerve-wracking processes that you'll ever do. The interviewers are absolutely brilliant. I had Katie from Yummy Jobs, and Katie was absolutely brilliant, made everybody feel relaxed, and it was just like a chat. And I hear so many blogs and vlogs that say that, but when you're actually there, you don't realise until you've done your interview, and then you just think, why was I worrying so much? So seriously, do not worry about the interview. It's you've got nothing to worry about. You're selling yourself for a job that you really want to do, so just sell yourself. So the group interview consisted of a number of things. So there was a few questions, which are sort of standard interview questions, but there's some icebreakers. So we had to, actually I won't spoil it for you once you get there. Just don't worry. There are a couple of points where we had to sort of, we brought a cultural item along, and there were lots of different things. So some people brought edible food, some people brought photographs. I actually made, from the back of a cloth from Hampton Court Palace. I live right close to it, so I was able to sort of talk about Kingston. It's quite a historical town. And I made something with sort of postcards and photos from my area, and got to have a bit of a chat about sort of where I've grown up, and why I like it, and why I can represent the UK. And as long as you can tell a story, have a chat, you shouldn't have too many issues. So also in the interview, there's lots of other people that are there. Get involved. If you want to ask somebody a question, throw it out there. It shows your willingness that you're listening to people, and B, you're actually learning. One of the guys in my group, Mark, brought lots of photos, which he got to explain. He's from Ireland. He got to explain quite a lot about Ireland, and I learned so much in the short space of time. I think it was about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. We did overrun, but oh well, we were liking what each other were doing, so we did overrun our interview quite a bit. But it was just a great experience. So yeah, you're there to enjoy it. So obviously don't take over the entire interview, but if you want to ask a question, do it. I asked a question for one of the other candidates. Yeah, just go with the flow of the interview more than anything else. So after you come out of the interview, that is where you will feel your big sigh of relief, and it is a great feeling. There's nothing more you can do at this stage until you just have to wait. So we were told that the application process this time around is going to be quite quick. So we actually heard back 2 days later, on the Friday, and had our results 2 days later. So it was a very quick process for us. I know in previous years it hasn't been, but yeah, this was just a very quick process, and it was quite surreal actually. But yeah, I'm speaking to you at the moment, so luckily I made it through that process, and was invited along to the final interviews, which I'll talk about in another video. Like always, subscribe, like and comment below. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. I don't bite often, so let me know how it's going for you if you're applying or think about applying.